What's up, guys? It's Azran here, and CO's basketball game is like Sean Marion's shot and DeAndre Jordan's free throw percentage. Ugly and bad, but we already knew both of those things. So, we're back here with MDL coverage, a little late because I'm on vacation and it's hard to find a place to record. So, we'll take a look at the standings we have after week 6, and we've got Ozzy leading the top at 6-0. Donut leading, that's actually 5-1. Spoilers, I did this when week 7 matches already started. He's at 5-1 with a bigger differential than I expected. And then we've got Hiss and Vergi and Podge and Mascot all having the same record at 4-2. Hiss has 11 plus 11 differential. Those forfeits are still holding true. Vergi with plus 9 differential. Mascot with a plus 3 and Podge with a plus 2 differential. Gorb, MSK, 27, and Flying are all competing for those last 2 playoff spots. We had 3-3 records. Gorb, MSK, and 27 are in the run differential wise, but Flying has some catching up to do differential wise at -3. And then we've got the outside looking in Bunny, Jayhawk, and Eric, who could make a quick run for the postseason. JJ, who's a memer, who's probably not going to make playoffs. CO and RC, I highly doubt it, but they are still technically not eliminated from playoff contention. In the coming weeks, we're going to start having teams eliminated from playoff contention, which means they can no longer trade Mons with other players. They can no longer drop Mons either. So, moving along, let's take a look at our division standings. Our juicy division standings here depict pretty much the same story. So I don't really think there's anything to go over there. So we'll move on to our playoff picture section here. I don't think I had this in the last MDL, and I don't know if they can see the entire thing, but I'm going to try to do that. So what if it all ended today, ladies and gentlemen? If it all ended today, on one side of the bracket, we'd have Ozzy versus MSK, Vergi versus Mascot in the 4-5 matchup and the 1-8 matchup. Looking at it, Vergi and Mascot is going to be an interesting matchup. Ozzy versus MSK, that was a close game versus MSK, so I'm not sure how much Ozzy actually likes that matchup as the number 1 seed, especially since the number 1 seed is not playing a best of 3, so he can be upset by hacks or some retarded shit. So on the other side of the bracket, we've got Donut at the 2 seed versus Gorb in the 7th seed. I don't think they played. I don't think they played in their non-conference schedule games, but Donut's been on a roll lately, so I would give the edge to him. And we have Hiss versus Podge, which is honestly a toss-up, but I believe in Podge's battling skills, and Hiss is still chilling because of his differential forfeit wins, so I would rather give the edge to Podge in this scenario. And then outside looking in, we've got 2 players for the most part that are outside looking in, 27 and Flying. 27 needs a win versus Vergi or a minor loss to Vergi, accompanied with a Gorb bad loss this week to make it into playoff. And for Flying, he just needs a solid win versus RC. A nice 4-0, 5-0 would get his differential out of the negative and would help him tons, especially if 27, Vergi, or Gorb loses. Now, looking at our non-conference records, in week 4 through 5, we completed actually the out-of-conference schedule of Tapu Koko versus Tapu Lele. So, in the previous week, Koko went 7-1 versus the Tapu Lele division with a differential of plus 13. The Bulu division tied with the Fini division at 4-4 with a 0 differential, which is honestly ironic. It's honestly perfect. And then starting in week 6, we had more out-of-conference play with Koko versus Bulu. Koko scoring 4-0 with a plus 11 differential, and Lele versus Fini scoring 3-1 versus their 8 games with a 9-point differential. So overall, we have the Tapu Koko division dominating the other divisions at 11-1. The one loss was Bunny, I think, to MSK or something, or some Bunny lost to I forgot, but Bunny's the only loss, but we have a plus 24 differential. Tapu Lele has the next best differential at -4 and with a record of 4-8. Tapu Bulu has the worst differential and the worst record at 4-8 with a differential of -11. And Tapu Fini has a worse differential than Tapu Lele, but Tapu Fini has a better record at 5 wins and 7 losses. So, without further ado, let's go over what happened transaction-wise in this week. So, Hiss dropped Rotom Frost for Mantine. Excellent drop. He might lose out on a Volt Switcher, but other than that, Mantine is clearly head over heels better than Rotom Frost, especially for like a ground resist or ground immunity. Hiss also dropped Heracross for Yanmega. I don't really know about that. I'm kind of disagreeing with that because that makes Hiss even weaker to rocks, like super duper weak to rocks. So CO just, steps on that ban or steps on that opportunity and immediately snags that Heracross for dropping Silvally Steel. And we've got 27 here trading his Gengar for JJ's Alolan Marowak. So, trades are ending soon, guys. Trades are ending soon because week 8 is the trade deadline. And MSK pulls a big one here. His first round pick dropping Toxapex for a Blaziken. And Zeal's out here making moves. He actually looks like he wants to make the playoffs. He's trading Bunny's Nidoking and Salamence for a Torn Eye and a Garchomp, which is kind of interesting because he loses like Nidoking's sheer force ability and Salamence's Z-move potential. But Torn Eye also has Z-move potential, and Garchomp is a faster dragon than Salamence. So overall, I think it was beneficial for both players, in my opinion. Bunny drops Armaldo for Cryogonal. I think a better spinner, a better, faster spinner with Levitate, which is nice. High flying here again, dropping Aerodactyl for Rotom Fan. That makes sense, honestly. Like a pincer check, a nice flying check, like flying fighting check. It's pretty decent. It still has the same defenses of Rotom Wash, so I think that's a good transaction. But like once again, this continues to inhibit, or this continues to put what you call it. Oh wait, no, it's not Hiss. So yeah, iFlying makes a good move here and gets Rotom Fan, picks it up. So without further ado, we'll move on to the important replays of the week. I don't know, this week was a little quiet, not too much really cool stuff going on, so I tried my best to find the best things I've got here. So we have here our Heat play of the week, which is Bunny versus Sheej, and you probably already know who it is. Turn 1, it's Sheej with a Crawdon as Bunny Mega Evolves, clicks that juicy Giga Drain, brings the Crawdon to its sash, and boom! Sheej just goes straight for the Endeavor, making that Venusaur low, and literally Bunny thought he lost. Well, luckily JJ's team was just a bunch of stupid memes, so he was able to pull it out. But nonetheless, that was a pretty hilarious play on Sheej's part, even though we all know his team by now. Our choke of the week actually here goes to RC, because RC could have picked up his first win rather than CO. So here we got a Swift Swim Kingdra, right? Which is naturally faster than Swift Swim Mega Swampert, right? And we got a Tapu Koko here. So Tapu Koko is able to knock out the Medicham. So into Raikou we go. Goes for the Wild Charge, just 60%. HP Grass is for 41%. So now if he T-bolted, Hidden Power, this is Hidden Power Grass. So Hidden Power Grass does 60%, right? Yeah, he does 60%. I don't know if that's specs or not, or Wise Glasses, so it might have not mattered if it was specs. But actually, no, wait a minute. So yeah, if it was specs, he would have lost, because if he went for T-Bolt, he would just go straight into Swampert and then win the game. So I guess that's why he had HP Grass. But if not, then this is our choke of the week, because at 60 base power for 60% damage on Tapu Koko, a T-Bolt naturally has 90 base power with Stab. It makes 135, and then you multiply another 1.5 on top of that with Electric Terrain. You have about you have, let's say, 65-70 more damage, which gets you out around 200, and you cut that in half due to the resistance of Tapu Koko, and you get base 100 move, and that's definitely enough to knock out the Koko. So if this thing wasn't choiced, RC choked, because if he knocked this out with T-Bolt, if he went into Politoed, he goes for the T-Bolt to knock it out. Actually, no, he goes for the HP Grass. He just spams HP Grass the rest of the game if he's not choiced. So that's our choke of the week. I don't know if it really was a choke of the week. Then we have our sweep of the week here, which is Ozzy versus Eric Says Hi. And I actually didn't skip to where the sweep occurs, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Alright, so here we go. Sucker Punch, knock that out. Sarina comes out, Arcanine comes out. I go to Feeny, Alomola, Arcanine back out, Hydra. Alright, where is it? Nihilego comes out as I go for the Wish, or as Eric goes for the Wish. He switches in his Zarina, and I just go for the rocks here. Boom, Wishes comes true. I go for the Sludge Wave, and it just knocks out the Serena. I don't know why he stayed in. So I get the Beast Boost here. He goes into Alomola Mola, and I'm going to switch into my Tapu Fini. Get the Misty Terrain up so he cannot burn my incoming Azu. As he goes straight into Wobbuffet, and I think I make the double here. Now he goes for the Light Screen. I go for the Surf, and he just goes for the Encore, so now he can Mirror Coat me into that. So here, I sweep here with my Z-Belly Drum. He can't Encore me. His only play would be to click Destiny Bomb, but nobody clicks that versus an Azu. They either click Encore or Counter, so I knew I had the win there. So a knockoff comes out. All I have to do is hit a Play Rough. I'm able to connect on the Play Rough, and that's a GG because I could just Aqua Jet the Heatran. So that's the sweep of the week. And now moving on to our final replay. Our final replay is the game of the week, which is Alliance Donut versus Hiss. So Hiss is rocking a really interesting team. I actually helped Donut build here, and I really thought that Bulu was terrible. Like bringing like a Cobalion or the Heracross would have been so much better for Hiss in my opinion. But you know, maybe that's just the way I like to build. So we'll get into this battle right now. Donut leads off with Nidoqueen. Hiss leads off with Zydoge. Neither want to risk their ground type, so they both double out. Donut goes into Gourgeist, Hiss goes into Blissey. Donut's going to go back into Nidoking, try to get the rocks up as Blissey goes for the Toxic. Donut's going to get the rocks up. Blissey's going to get the rocks up. Nidoqueen's going to get the T-Spikes up as Blissey goes for the S-Toss. Nidoqueen goes for the Toxic Spikes as Blissey goes for another Toxic. Nidoqueen goes for the Earth Power and Blissey stays going for the Toxic. The fuck is this? Anyway. Nidoqueen goes for the Earth Power here as Blissey goes for an S-Toss. So now Donut's going to switch out here. No, he's going to go for the Ice Beam. He's just about it. As the Blissey goes for the Toxic. So he's reading his Toxic's like a fiddle, which is actually pretty cool. Donut goes into Manaphy as Blissey goes for the Seismic Toss on this instance. Donut's going to go for the Z Rain Dance to give him the speed and the rain. Seismic Toss is going to come out. Manaphy's going to Tail Glow. And Blissey's going to knock out the Manaphy because it's not necessarily a roll, but he just should have made sure his Manaphy had 100 HP, more than 100 HP. So now into Scizor we go as Hiss is going to switch out into his Raptor, which is Intimidate, so that definitely screams Bulky Raptor as the Scizor goes for an SD. Scizor goes for the BP. Staraptor is going to defog all of these nasty hazards away as Scizor goes for the BP to knock out the Staraptor. Into Victini, Hiss goes as the switch is Entei. Victini just goes straight up for a V-Crate and it does 49% to the Entei. So I don't think Hiss is going to stay in, so he's going to bring in his Bulu. Probably a Sack Water as Entei goes for the Iron Head. And we find out that the Bulu is Scarf and the Entei is not because you saw that he healed the Grassy Terrain first. He goes for the Horn Leash, chips down the Entei a little bit more as the Entei goes for another Iron Head. So down goes the Bulu and the Entei restores a little health with Terrain. So into the ENC we go. As Donut brings in Scizor, and Diancie Earth Powers and does not HP fire like a king, and Scizor is able to go for the BP to knock out the Diancie because, to be fair, Hiss didn't really have a switch in. Donut's going to switch out on the incoming Victini and Hiss is going to go for the V-Crate, knocking out Donut's Nidoqueen. So now into Jolteon we go, and the switch in is Blissey as Jolteon goes straight for the Shadow Ball onto the Blissey. And Blissey is not affected, so back into Scizor we go as Blissey gets up the Juicy Rocks. Scizor is going to go for the U-turn now as Gourgeist is going to be the switch. So Blissey goes for the Seismic Toss, trying to predict the Entei or whatnot, as Blissey goes for the Toxic here. Gourgeist goes for the Juicy Leech Seed, and the Blissey's getting whittled, but the Gourgeist is going to be whittled more. So into Zydoge we go. as Gorgox goes for another Leech Seed, predicting the Zydoge. Good play on Donut's part. And Zygarde, this Zydoge has Crunch, and it does nothing. So now Gorgox is going to Willow the Zydoge, so it's no longer a threat. And I think Donut's just going to sack the Gorgeist to the poison and whatnot. No, he's just going to Synthesis, so he's going to stall it out a little bit more. I think a Shadow Sneak here should be able to knock out the thing. But Donut's not about the Shadow Sneak, so he's just going to switch into Jolteon. He doesn't give a damn. Jolteon's going to go for a Volt Switch here. And into Gorgeist you go. Gets the lefties as Blissey goes for the S-Toss. Hiss is going to go back out into Zydoge, just sacking it as Gorgeist goes for the Leech Seed, and he's able to recover up some health, and the Zydoge is going to die of the burn. So now Hiss is going to bring in the Victini, the King, as Gorgeist goes for the Shadow Snake, chipping the Victini a little bit, and Victini goes for the V-Create here. Gets hurt by the Rocky Helmet, so he's taking a lot of damage. Maybe he just should have like Zen Headbutt. I don't know if it would have killed. Hiss goes out into Blissey as Jolteon goes for the juicy Volt Switch into Mega Scizor formation. And now Scizor goes for the superpower, knocking out the Blissey. So it's a 3-attack Scizor. Hiss was not expecting it. So into Victini we go. Scizor's going to go for the BP. And that's it, I think. Yeah. Scizor's going to go for another BP. Victini's going to go for another Zen Headbutt. Scizor's going to go for a third BP as Donut sacks it. And the Victini goes for Zen. And the Entei, E-Speed, or the Jolteon, apparently, which was Scarf Shadow Ball, can pull out the win here. So E-Speed crit does not matter. Donut is able to take the game 2-0. And that's all we have for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next week for more coverage of the MDL. Peace.